begins, folks. My name is Severio alongside with Raven PLC. We are entering potential match point round to come out with 5-2-1 at that point in time, staying safe. But we're starting off hot here in the Sunwings Rest. YZG coming through here to the north side. We know that Team Bowder are on the outskirts and the teams are supporting. The fans are out in the crowd, making sure that the support is in terms of decibels, I should say, because everywhere around, once you see a little bit of action like this parry, Roy he's going to start this one off here at the Beta Temple against TWSS.
Roy opening up with a huge parry, flying in with the F3, getting some damage, just looking for the flank. His teammate under a ton of pressure. TW does snag, trying to close it out, covering his teammate Spear. Gonna be setting up some space, but Roy opening it up, doesn't want to back off, looking for the flank play. Nice shot from TWS, spacing out, denying the flank right now, but Roy he's gonna grapple in, try to secure this last hit. Fat Milk is down to 1 HP there though. Roy comes in with the close round with the F3, and TWS is looking in shambles, but they are looking to bring it back.
This is gonna be a close position because we gotta remember BBE there, close to max point position. Elimination picked up from Fat Milk against Snack, and now looking towards the last opponent left, Polaris. He's going himself into the distance of that Ray rolling out. He has no ultimate ready and looking towards the anticipation for a jump parry. Doesn't come out for it because, you know, Roy he's looking to try to spam out here. There's a jump R&B. There's confirmation to deny the escape. And the V1 Viper to invest into that. That's crazy because now it's up to TWSS for a salty run back and we get a stun for free. This is dangerous, man.
Against the wall right now, Roy has put BBE on his back with his dagger, pushing through right now, but TWSS is not gonna go quietly right now. They're throwing blues left and right. They're gonna take down Ivan. Now Fat Milk against the ropes. Roy doing his best, looking for the flank. The Tesla ult's gonna slow him down. He flies in with the F3. He's not gonna be able to connect. Instead, Doofoots is gonna take down Fat Milk. The stun's gonna come in from the Tesla ult, and TWSS is gonna deny BBE off spawn.
Trying to make that turnaround for points. Oh my goodness, we were so close. But then all of a sudden, Ivan being the last one remaining, TWSS might have had a good option in running this one back. And seeing these parries coming through, it looked like it's an all-in warfare between both TWSS and BBE over by the event side temple. No other teams kind of go ahead here and contest the charge up to Stoneform. Some parries coming out here as Ivan goes ahead and confirms it. But there's going to be the Viper ult coming out here. This time, this is coming from Dofoots from TWSS and the Wuchen port to get the team out. It is a safe and a fair distance as BBE live to fight another day, or they can re-engage.
BBE is swinging the salty runbacks. TWSS, they have a really risky play coming back and fighting out that scenario, but fortune favors the bold. They get a nice four-piece off spawn. Now we're seeing the match point team 5-2-1 on the Transformers in the south, scaling up, setting up for that first round of the Yang. But to the north, YZG Wolves trying to get on the board, trying to get to that match point, up in the high 50s.
And now we're seeing that Takeda doesn't even have ultimate ready, and he is caught by the intestine chant into that Viper ultimate. You know things come out here in disarray when it comes down towards Takeda having a spotlight for everything. As XCM has that purple pole sword and the Moonbane in their hands, they cannot confirm any sort of lockdown against the opponents. And for everything coming after this Moonbane, you know, XCM, he's going to have 5 grapples left, but CXE is already cutting corners and losing it out towards the Sunwings region. Now for this is going to be, we're down to 3 grapples. And this is a tumult, by the way, that CXE is playing. And even though he has common armor, he can always find a swap along the way and just keeping that distance and kiting out here. So meanwhile, we're switching over to Shipwreck Expanse. We're going to see DRG in a contestation for 5-2-1. Now 5-2-1, they spawned at the Alchemist's Cottage. They haven't lost their first set of lives. Their gear is looking kind of snazzy. 2 blue armors and 1 purple one for Akame as the hottie to keep it in sightline. But with that Zyphon comp coming out from DRG Katsu, look at that. Moonbane is on standby. Wushin 98 can have this to turn this fight around and deny 5-2-1 to that championship.
Yeah, 5-2-1. They're desperately trying to navigate their way to that first round of the Yang. Once they win that first round of the Yang, they can cruise control to a possible MVP, but they still have to get kills. They still might have to fight an off-spawn fight right now. 5-2-1 is going to get caught out right now. DRG is going to connect right now. Akame with the flank, holding in blue right now. Now Pampi forced to come back. Yin is really low on the Balder right now. Dodging, weaving, has the cube up, gets out of dodge, gets out of the flank, and the Moonbane is going to come down. It's not looking good for 5-2-1.
Definitely not, especially that Pampi hasn't been able to get any sort of utilization for his ultimate, and now that the Moonbane strikes come down, he's going to have to escape this region, losing out Yin, using out the Valda, the one person that's a component in any Tian High Transformer comp to make sure, and nowadays that they can confirm those grabs, is not going to have it, but Pampi's still going to try to fight back. He's seen himself in the Moonbane, one strike to the next. Oh my god, another Moonbane strike because he deletes his health bar, and that's going to be where Pampi gets caught by the burn, and those omnidirectional strikes as Wushin 98 finishes the deal with a musket shot. That's 3-5 eliminations that DRG are taking into this game.
Nice timing attack coming from DRG. 5-2-1. They try to play slow. They try to set up for that Realm of Yang. They get super scaled up. But DRG is going to cut them at the knees, take that loot for themselves, and set themselves up for a big MVP round. Already at the 5 kills, Akame against the ropes. He does going to get the overhold. Wait a second, 1v3 scenario. He is going to get buried out, though. DRG is not going to let that happen. Akame with the jumping LMBs is going to get taken down by DRG.
And that's 6 kill eliminations coming out for DRG. That means that they are up towards the point of 63.5. They only need 1.5 to reach into match point. And like I said, it all comes down to whether or not 5-2-1 can come out here on top as MVP to end the tournament. But if any of the players or none of the teams, they are still closing in here for those kills, those points, and securing that 65-point threshold. And it's looking pretty close between 4 to even 5 potential teams or players to kind of go through. GG, they have 1 elimination already. They are 57.5 totaled out. They still only need around 6 or 7.5 points in order to ensure that they can reach match point and being one of those teams. But TWSS having 4 eliminations, rocking out the event high tempo with the kills against BBE. This is going to be where even at last place, they are still trying to play those games of catch up because like we said, anything can happen where a team can end up having that pop off and they can just close in that gap.
Yeah. We saw GG there hiding it up, hiding in the bush right now, don't want to engage. And TWSS on that Viper composition, everyone's trying to set up for that first Realm of Yang. That's when these compositions really come online. We saw JL run this composition on a heavy Viper day, that Matari, Yushan, Feria. Very, very bizarre composition. An invisible mech, such a big counter to Viper. We haven't really got to see a full Yang fight as JL runs this. It's never really on them when they go into Realm of Yang. It's gonna have to beat Transformers, other Siphons, and even potentially a Xiphon composition. I'm excited to see if JL is going to be running into there, or they'll play for Spirit Well.
And they also have to worry about the Sire, right? Because listen, if anything comes out, Sire can also stagger a Fairy-Shen mech with the laser beam. That's something that can disrupt the whole flow. However, switching this back over to the situation that's happening over towards the northeast of Sunwing's Rest, we're going to see TWSS having a scrim off against Team Bowda. Now, Bowda, he's healing up in the face of danger, even with the Kurumi Parasol to defend him with that mitigation for the F3. That's where it's going to be coming out to be casted. The healing prayer comes out for 4 seconds, and then Yu goes on the offensive. Ultimate comes out from Takeda. The Tessa enchantment's good, but the F3 was missed out, so we're going to see this full investment come out and see whether or not the Fear and Blast can be staggered out between the stun.
Yu is going to get staggered right now. They're going to secure a lockdown onto Peak, but Yuran with the Cyber ult says, get off my teammate. Laser beaming TBWSS off, not getting that focus fire off, and now Doofus on the Viper, stuck in a bad position, but nice bailout from Polaris, porting them out of there.
Now it's going to be a spot. Dofu finds himself 1 heal. He's looking for number 2. He ain't going to be allowed that, but he's going to throw a blue focus. F1 comes out here passively, and it's going to be Yu to try to lock him into the zone. The Shadow Corruption damage is going to be taken away, but those nunchucks are from Yuran. It's going to confirm that kill. You're about to find the second elimination then, and looking at total count number 5. This is about his point right now for that Realm of Yang to find it, fuse it, but then again, no ultimates on standby. They don't get an ult refresh. It's not like how solos operates where you enter Realm of Yang and you get that ult refresh for trios. Only your skills reset when you enter set round. But switching on over towards the Crow's Nest. Another fight happening. This time though, Wolves finding the sun. And actually this is south of Celestra, and this Realm of Yang could have come out potential as NightHQ finds that musket shot even with the disappearing Viper ults.
Wait a second, BBE with a little bit of a miscommunication. The V1 stagger is going to come out from the Viper, but Wu Chen ports him now. Now going into the Realm of Yang, we are going to see JL on their their Matari Yushan composition. DRG is going to come flying in with the F3. BBB going to put down the mech. Onefang invisible, looking for a stagger, but Don Q sitting up top. Doesn't want to engage right now. Fairy Mech's going to be engaged. TXG trying to find an opening on the Matari. Looking to connect right now, but nice feel going to come off of Don Q. Looks for the uppercut. Looking for the scale rush again. Onefang going to make his way to the Feria. Setting up to ultimate, but Don Q is going to respond with a Zyald, and now we're going to move on to the phase 2 of the fight.
Don Q has to be careful here. He can always get staggered by Fairy-Shen into a free lunge by the Almighty General, as Onefang's going to be looking to use that Wei Shan ultimate on offensive points. He's at half health. Don Q is going into that Kurumi ultimate. We see the lunge. That's going to be where it comes from the background. Then he leashes that ensnared soul, making sure that burn tick comes out for that Wei Shan, who comes right back in and trying to convert in terms of damage and denying the pressure that's coming out with those ultimate strikes. But of course, you know, Don Qing's been waiting this out here for the longest, and just making sure those burn tick procs come out and confirms Onefang's demise. Don Qing makes sure he can try to lock down VVV, who is going to be one of the few remaining teammates off of JL. As you can see in the background, TXJ is at 1 HP. He gets eliminated, and then you're going to see the victory come out as DRG wins out the first round.
Multiple players low HP. JL known for their clutch. Not today, though. DRG puts him down now in the other lobby. Two Giants, Alliance and GG facing up NY7 on the side. Finding the focus attack. Perry's going to be coming out from 3-3-0. Holds the line on the battle crewing, but he is going to get flanked by NY7. Nightfield going to come out for LX7. Dragon Slayer's going to be coming up. Everyone down to 1 HP. LX7 is going to fall. CGS down to 1 HP. NY7 with the flank, trying to lift him off the ground. Revenge down to a low hit point. CGS trying to make some space for it right now. 1v3 situation, looks for the R&B, sends it again. But Alliance had too much of an advantage. GG is gonna fall.
That fan working nice and tidy because now they got golden onions, they got an explosive armor, and a purple cannon to pick up. And looking towards and ensuring that that buff is going to be something offensive, they're going for the Vermilions. We're seeing a spread of buffs. You see Wolves probably picking that up from the Spirit Well and having Draco Storm, but EWG actually opting in for that White Tiger's prowess. Now that's interesting. You're going to notice that whether or not EWG are going to try to hunt down 5-2-1, they are playing it's safe. They need to make sure that they don't hunt down and lose out the potential of their lives. They already lost their first fight. The reset period only comes down to picking up scraps from bodies and then working with what they got, because looting game right is too risky, especially with the Romyang 1 concluding.
Now, even though 5-2-1 got the match point, this is a critical part for this tournament. You can't let the overheat get to yourself. It does come down a lot of the time to points, especially when everyone's so evenly matched. When you look at the points, JL all the way up to DRG in first, only separated by around 10 points. So many teams are in contention right now. You still want to keep up. Slow and steady wins the race. But 5-2-1, they've spent a lot of time in NVPL. They have the discipline, and they're slowing down their gameplay. I'm liking what I see from them right now.
Yeah, and seeing Wolves here with their Draco Storm, it's about to expire in just a moment, but they are able to pick that up, and they are that Viper, which is a team comp that does not necessarily take it to Romyang fights. They are mostly into the outskirts in the overworld. And now for Wolves, they are just out here straight past the Islet Crater and just hiding out in the swamp area. Meanwhile, Shipwreck expands 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock for JL. They have the moment of the 2-minute timer of them scouting around, making sure they're finding players. They were not successful in doing so, but GG, they are still in soul form as well, and they are hiding out and seeing whether or not it is in their best interest to ambush, because Alliance, they are on the cusp of the arrival scene and hoping to see whether or not you can see Alliance could take the fight into their own hands.
Yeah, Alliance does have that moving spot right now. BBB's going to lead the charge. RB, jump LB, going to stay safe, get that poke damages. He's going to get taken for a ride, though. NY7 and Yuma putting on the pressure. Revenge with that flank. He's going to get silenced by BBB. Now turning around the pressure. BBB going to drop down the mech, get into there. 1:40. Can GL find the cleanse?
Looking like a part 2 trilogy of the trilogy, because it comes down towards JL, making sure that whether or not they're going to become the one known as the Godfather, they have to make those decisions right now. And for VVV, he's going to be the menace of the story, even though he's making all the decisions right here to stay on top. There's a one cannon shot, and looking towards that Wei shot ultimately come out here. The one Fong's on ground level duty, and TXJ is making sure he can try to stagger out, but there is Alliance putting out the points, and they have 50 seconds on the Vermilions. Even if they find eliminations, the whole lobby has accrued in terms of Shipwreck Expanse. 5-2-1 now appearing outside of the bushes and just looking for that potential for snagging kills left and right as a yoink strategy.
Yeah, rare situation. GG against the ropes. When they're on site, they find ways to get that soul bloom. NY7 stuck in a plus position. CGS is going to pick up the kill. Do they get the soul bloom? Looks like one of them did end up picking up, but Alliance still fighting back right now. Multiple teams coming in. OUG from the flank. CGS as well. 5-2-1 showing up to the party. Can they pick up some kills? Pampi sitting on the outside right now. Doesn't want to overcommit. Gin's going to find a kill onto Yuma. Cannon shots are coming out. Switching to the pistol, but Pampi choosing to engage right now. 5-2-1 wants to get active right now. GG desperately trying to get in. Nightberry going to come out from Pampi on to OUG's SS. Back to back. Perry's putting him to the ground. SS, though, is going to use that Tamiyo to back off and stabilize.
This is going to be Pampi acting out here like Val Kilmer and He's just making sure he can put them under fire. There's a lot of mentions out here, folks, but Pampi, he has himself to worry about this ultimate, not so much, because with this ultimate cast himself, Tianhai, it will be something for all the players to want to disperse, and this is, like I said, Aizen had cast the curse it way ahead of time. Shipwreck Expanse against with Transformers, it's not looking good for him because there's so much terrain. And now for 5-2-1, no utilization of this ultimate. They have to back with it, and they have to disengage quickly, because I hear the grapples and they are getting hunted.
Yeah, that Wombo coming out, the Valda Monk being invested right now. They're not able to get much out of it, but YZG showing up to the party. QGG is going to connect to Bambi, seeing the retreating Transformer team. They want a piece of this, showing that weak body language. 5-2-1 has to back off right now. Good thing for them. GG, desperate for a Soblu, is going to pick off OUG instead, and EWG is going to show up to the party.
It's going to be a Top Gun motion, because if they can keep themselves nice and tidy in the flight format and just making sure they get dropped down for those blue focuses like that parry, this is going to be a healing intersection for the kills. And of course, looking for the blue focuses. I heard you went down because everything comes up, because Pompey is looking to try to hold down those blue focuses, and back and forth repair, that dodge, looking left and right, and keeping his team in motion for the reset. This is dangerous for them. 2 blue armors, but somehow, some way, 5-2-1 are holding down the position, locked and loaded.
Yeah, 5-2-1. Really, really good disengage from there, covering, moving, making their way to the no-ult zone, making their way out of GG's range, but I spoke too soon. I might have cursed them right now. EWG is going to find the kill onto Pambi, but 2 people from 5-2-1 are going to be able to live. They're going to make their way into zone, try to avoid the situation, play for that res. OUG, our GG still in the hunt, and we're going to move on to the realm of Yang.
Now, Alliance are taking a lot of forefront pressure from DRG to Zyphon that is stacked into this game, as we saw the first realm of Yang victory. Dongqing 98 having himself to launch himself with a Comet, going towards NY7 in the background, looking to try to push him away from his opponents, just making sure he can keep him in the back line. And there's going to be nickel focus strikes back to back, and we're throwing those left and right. And there's going to be one ensnare soul ready to go here. We're extending the time for the ultimate to not be used, because you know Dongqing's going to go ahead and throw that ensnared, and there's the confirmation. Alliance goes down, immediate execution. DRG opting in for that win. Bowder winning their realm of Yang, as well as seeing BBE pick up that Mystic Might from a Spirit Well. Looking at the gear here, we're going to see a gold fan. We're going to see a chance of that as being a Wolverine. No, that's a wind spout being available for these guys, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to have to double check and see it later on, because otherwise, DRG, they might be the most stacked players in this lobby. Yeah,
like you said, sir, definitely the most stacked players indeed. Already leading lobby with kills, up to 12 kills. They have woken up, and they're absolutely fragging out. 5-2-1 has a chance to get that res, but it looks like they cannot end this tournament. Multiple teams now. It's up to them to get that match point. It's going to be spicy of a game 7 as the drama unfolds.
And it's dangerous right now. 12 eliminations DRG have in this game, making it extremely difficult for 5-2-1. Just try to see if we're going for that range res over by the Artisan's Grove. That's going to be a little bit sketch. No one's around here to watch this. Pampy being on scout duty to let him know, and now Akame is back up. He's got to be quick with this escape, going right back into it. But like I said, 12 eliminations DRG. They are stacked out here as the kill leaders into the game right now, playing Zyphon and winning out 2 realm of Yangs this time around. 5-2-1 are approaching very closely towards Wolves, and seeing, oh no, into the bush to try to confirm that no one is in there, and ZK is just staying still for dear life.
Wow, just narrowly missing that Phoenix Blast. Now Wolves looking to use the store as well. The store is getting very, very busy. It looks like there's a sale on the store right now. ZK is like, wait a second, it's getting a little too spicy for me. I'm going to make my way out of there. 5-2-1 though, recovering their game, able to move into the zone, stay alive right now at 1.5. They have a decent points lead. They still can be playing for first. If this goes the distance, every point is going to matter.
Yeah, and I just realized why we saw the YGG cam. Man, they are little decimal points away from match point, and I feel bad for the boys, but we have to see what's going to happen here. A lot of players, a lot of teams should say, having entered match point, it's going to be stacking up here very soon. 5-2-1 Yin having the Phoenix Blast, and with the blue longsword, blue armor, it's kind of like a fight with your eyes type situation if everyone wants to come through. Here he switches over that longsword though. Purple Raider now. Wistro comes out, trying to deny the range shots coming out here against Akame, who has to burn that F2, and Yin trying to keep the moment in case any pursuers come through. The F1 comes out. Pompey utilizing his own combo break here. This is a lot of skills to be burned out here, Raven, before the engagement really begins.
Does a bubble from max range, trying to cover his teammate. Nice job on 5-2-1 though. They've been really, really good fighting on the back foot right now, even though they're a bunch of blueberries, even though they're not as scaled as they'd like to be. They've done a good job of keeping off the pressure as everyone's chasing down. But speaking of being under pressure, we saw GG before. They had that Yang depletion. They got upset in the realm of Yang, but this is what makes them so strong. Even though you have them on the back foot, you can't count them up. They find a way to come back. They find a way to cleanse. EWG, though, chasing down the global team. They don't want them to win that match point. They can sense the weakness of the team that they're chasing. Looking for this kill. Can EWG end 5-2-1's run?
They're at 50 51.2 points overall. They still need around 13.8 just to secure themselves that 65-point threshold for match points. So for EWG, this could be that pop-off game we were mentioning that could happen for them, and they can come through. Bowda's as well on the 7-point kill game, being a little bit up on terms of EWG, but not so much. But they still need that amount of points to be earned, 13 plus. Now comes down to Bowda getting confirmed out here for Focus Fire, and oh my goodness, that's a lot of fan RBs, that's a lot of fist plays with focus action, but there's going to be the confirmation for the comment to get dodged, and Yu goes for the pelvic thrust, avoiding out NY7 and turning around that pressure that was brought upon himself.
How does you press against the corner? You don't want to pressure him. He turns it around, lets him know he's not going down quietly, immediately popping that Cicada ult, taking matters in his own hands, throwing those R&Bs out like hotcakes, doing a ton of damage, forcing out the V1. Karumi ult is up. He's out of charges though. Now NY7 with that Zai ult is going to be able to turn this momentum around. You though has something for him, switching over to that fan, getting the damage going. Alliance is forced onto the back foot.
This is going to be a fan spam on 1, 2, 3, seared on both sides. Looking towards the R&B spam coming out. You have to look and invest the F1 at the right opportune moment. There it is. Hoping to hold this out here for the blue focus horizontals. Seeing the parry from the teammate connects it towards it. It doesn't get caught with the parry, but there it is. Revenge goes ahead and gets struck back here and knocked back. This is a nice synergized moment coming from Team Bowda, but a parry like that could have disrupted the whole flow. And the F1 from Uran comes out. The Syra Q is impeccable, but then again, NY7 is dying to the zone. Alliance are going to go down. Bowda has just secured themselves the 13 points. They're going to still need to stack up here into this end game in the 9 minutes left.
Let's go, you bringing it back. They had a little bit of a lull start, but on the back of Takeda, on the back of Bowda's used Takeda, absolutely shredding Alliance, who was on a roll up to 7 kills, but Bowda letting them know your run stops here. Now moving over to the Spirit Well, facing off versus DRG.
DRG Dongqing saw that Takeda Fear No, a little bit of panic mode using F2, hasn't used ultimate yet, and Matari, nice moment for the proc to come out here. Look, we're going to spam out the F2 this time. We have an ultimate ready to go, but that Spirit Well is going to deny the range shot, so that's going to force out DRG. They don't want to take the engagement as heavy as they would like, even with you having the ultimate active for a couple of seconds. Pampy, look at the drop down into here with a bell. Wait a second, we've seen this from Wolves before. Here's going to be the Tian High ultimate coming out. Pampy going to be forcing out the disengagement as it comes out towards Bowda, and having the bubble from the Valda, having the meter build up for that Spear Well. We're at 50% for them to clear this one for Shock.
We've seen Viper drops, but have you seen Monk drops? Pampy coming from the top roads, pushing them off and securing the Spirit Row. Now 5-1 has a good footing into this lobby, stacked to the gills. Pampy with the gold armor, Akame as well with the purple or blue armor, but Yin getting the purple armor. They're looking poised to get some points going.
And I believe they got themselves a Dragon War, so we're going to have to see that later on. Shipwreck expansion is a whole different coast that we have to focus down on towards, because EWG Lue, right? He's got himself the Fear and Blast to be invested so far for this ultimate. He still has Xi's ultimate for the Tumult. He still's got Cookie for the Karumi. And now they're looking to try to force out and split a team apart and looking for the pick apart scenario. Cyro F is invested F2 from Leeway. We saw that from EWG in the free screen, but now OEGGU goes out from Wolves, and Wolves is spamming out blue focuses left and right. You know, XEM's not going to shy away from doing so. He's got 8 grapples. If he's got that pulse sword on standby, the moment that he finds that kid to utilize the ult, you know he's going right back in.
Yeah, Wolves a little bit quiet this round, but up to 4 kills right now. They're playing that hit and run. Viper, that attack on Titan. 5-2-1 has their work cut out for them. Still multiple Viper teams in the lobby. BBE, Wolves, but the majority of this lobby, very, very durable compositions. EWG on the Siphon, Bowda on the Siphon with Syra, GG on their Siphon. We're going to get a nice stacked end game now. DRG up to 12 kills. It's going to be a heads-up play, Bowda and DRG as the favorites, but you can't count out 5-1. You can't count out Transformers. That double grab can just turn things around. We saw it earlier from OUG's The King. Is Pampy on that same level?
Gotta see, because, you know, DRG, they can get eliminated now, and this could be a breath of fresh air without them even knowing for 5-2-1, because, like you said, Transformers Endgame Circle, was also into the endgame, you know, Final Shadow collapsing. It would be a spot. If this is the endgame circle on the high ground, oh, the resets. I don't want to think about it. That would just be the scenario that 5-2-1 would love to take into consideration. But the problem is, there's a lot of counter action coming through, and that's just hiding away from the Transformers. Even with the Mystic Might buff the next couple of seconds, they're still going to hide out here. Meanwhile, Dreadful Whale going to be here in the hands about his peak. We know that Uran is going to be able to kind of utilize himself with those nunchucks, having the Dragon War to be charged up here. And he has that lockdown potential in the Assault Smolder. We've seen that even yesterday in solos, where the Assault Smolder comes out with the nunchucks to kind of lock someone down. Stanchion Sky Pillar and seeing an Overcomer actually for Kakashi. That's going to be the moveset coming through for the Matari, while the teams are just locked down here, stacked out, and just trying to burn for resources.
We're seeing a classic endgame here, a battle positioning, buttery rocks, high ground contention, as that 80% Moonbane forces everyone to the corners of the map. No one wants a hard commit right now. The one thing that counters Siphon is another Siphon all in you. The protection of that Temi wall, very, very good, unless the enemy team has that Temi. Unfortunately for Pambi, Temi wall's not going to be allowing him to get those grabs, but we saw earlier, upsets can happen. The Zycom beating two Transformer teams. Can the opposite happen? Can the Siphon comps fall to a singular Transformer team?
We have to see, because Yin, he has no armor, and everyone notices that, and they're trying to hunt down this Vola before she procs ult. He gets one heal off. This is a dangerous spot, though, because the teams can just look to lock down from every other side. And Nakame, he has no ultimate right now. Could have had to force proc it, could have set up a teleporter, but this dreadful well is going to deny anyone coming in here. Draco Storm, I should say, coming out from the Spirit Well. It's getting kited by Bauda, and Bauda are ready to launch it out here. The confirmation comes through. They got Stormstride. They're working through and picking that one up. But in the meanwhile, he's going to the offensive, and he's looking to pressure this one out here with that gold pole sword. So with it, taking each team into consideration to push them off here, there's going to be those last hit confirmations that he's making sure to force the disruption between all teammates from his opponent's side.
Bauda wants to stir the pot. You is the big spoon coming in, swinging. He still has another ult in his pocket. 2 more shoves to his name. He's going to find an R&B onto Roy Hee, but Roy Hee is out of there. BBE wants nothing to do with this Draco Storm team. On the low ground, though, GG with the classic cannon pressure, forcing everyone on this left side into a tough position. The meat grinder between Bauda and GG, slowly closing the distance, slowly choking them up, and the first victim is going to fall. Ivan from BBE will die to EWG.
Liwei is going to be possibly the second one, but his ultimate comes out here from a teammate. A Dreadful Well connects, and there's going to be locked down. Liwei goes down. There's the army slam down here. Ron immediately deleted in the background somewhere, somehow, as a Syro, which is kind of a big surprise, and Battle wasn't expecting it. This is going to be a spot where the drop downs can occur. Now for you, having to see that Zai come through, he's going to see her disappear just like that, like a blink of an eye, and looking to see whether or not he can throw out those focuses to make sure that the denial of pressure. Losing out your third in this case is not a fun time, but there's still chances for 5-2-1 to hold out for dear life. As you can see, they're waiting for that res to happen, and they're picking up loot along the way.
Yeah, 5-2-1 scaling up, playing this incredibly smart. Transformers has a huge edge when it comes to heal off, but there's so much terrain around them. A lot of these Siphon teams have triple cannon. It's going to be tough for them to live through this sustained DRG on the Siphon. Don Q is going to get forced out with the Tesla ult, has to pop the ultimate. Now on the low ground, dropping down. His teammates are going to cover him with the attacks. Now going into this cave, there's a gremlin in there, there's a giant troll. It's Bauda, it's you. They got gold armor. Don Q is going to get out of there, doesn't want any part of it, but he has to fight his way through everyone as Pampi's going to pop the ultimate on high ground.
He's got the high ground position. Don't let him strike back. There's one against Xi. There's going to be a spot right now for Pampi to look for these grabs, but like I said, Shipwreck, it's a little bit of a cursed moment. If he can find another grab against Liwei there for the last hit, it's not going to happen. Yu's already on it. He's making sure to pick up the Soul Blooms and rotate out. He finds another grab. This time, though, the meter dump comes through, but he knows there's not going to be enough time. He only have time for one more grab. Pampi looks to try to make sure that Kirby does not have any sort of escape route, so once he deforms, he's able to cut her off. Here he comes down, full armor, ready to go in the offensive. He takes one time to heal the Tumult Circle into the last 2 minutes, lock down this building for everyone to try to cut past, and then comes GG with that Takeda Fury and ult out of CJS's pocket.
GG doing a good job holding the building, using the durability of their Kurumi Circle. This is their house. If you come in here uninvited, they are going to take you down. But on the high ground, 5-2-1, using the Hottie, using Akame slashes to secure their position. Q's going to be coming out. They have the Monk already. They're poised to win this heal off, but it's not enough. They're going to keep up the pressure. Challenge GG inside their house.
This is going to be a spot. Akame having that gold nutty is going to smack with one R&B, and it's 900 damage, and now he's going to get a full reset. He's allowing for his teammate to get the heal off. His Pampi has ultimate in just a second. The Flamebreaker is confirmed. The ultimate's ready here. Hold on a second. Wait a moment. We're going to see whether or not the ground units come up to the sky, and Pampi on that high ground gets that CN High ultimate active. He's going for that pressure hold. He's looking for the melee grabs. He's got to be safe enough to look for it. And he finds you, of all people, to get them out the game.
Bauda is gonna lose their carry. Explosions going down as Pampy's looking for the grabs, picking up Cookie as well. Doesn't. He gets the slam. He eliminates Cookie. Pampy now definitely looking for the soul bloom. He's gonna get knocked into the zone, and Wolves is gonna turn it around.
That's the dangerous spot for Yin right now, but with the Valdo ultimate active, the spears are still on standby. We still have 7 or 8 opponents for them to look towards. DRG are still alive. 3 set. The whole team is still available to proc out here for Wolves right now. Looking to counteract this with their Viper ultimate in the last possible moment and guaranteeing that stun. We're at 25 seconds, folks. Spikestone's Akame still alive, still has Hottie ultimate, still has that ultimate to be active for that teleporter. CGS looking to try to deny this point here. There's going to be the ultimate from the Akame. There's going to be a chance for them to dissipate from this point on. And of course, as XCM kind of puts himself here for the stun, having a spotlight in the moment here for that tested chance to kind of get those last hit confirmations. Who's going to come out here striking for this sideline? There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Of course, Akame comes in for the last strike, for the last hit. He picks up the soul blooms. He's trying to get his team to say a lot, but he is not going to survive out. It's instead going out to DRG with those eliminations and the MVP for this round.
Massive, massive plays coming out from GG, controlling the house, controlling that low ground. We saw 5-2-1 bringing it back, but Wolves is gonna slow them down. It's not gonna matter. DRG is going to clutch it up, is gonna show up big. They were quiet all day, but now they are just as loud as the crowd.
And they're pushing through. We saw the support coming in from the family and relatives off in the distance, and so congratulating them for their MVP. We gotta remember, there's $40,000 to be earned because of that MVP, so that's gonna be stacking up, and like we said, it keeps scaling up. That means we're going to Game 7, we're allowing for ourselves to earn ourselves more money for MVP. Whether it's a blessing and a curse, allowing for this to warn out here isn't gonna be not just for the competition, but for